let's get on to the big reveal. Some of you guessed it. I saw you guessed it. But the piece of work which Saf and I, mainly Saf, I'll be honest, but Saf and I have been working on this week is to enable you guys to see how you're performing and how we're performing on these challenges. And I've got to say, like, we've been talking about challenges or tournaments for the community for what, a year, Saf? Probably about a year.
A year and a half, something like that.
Maybe more, yeah. And we wanted to use the optimizer to enable us to run like tournaments for the community. What we've done here is actually set the foundations for all of that stuff to happen in 2023, because this piece of work which Saf and the team have been doing this week is basically now pulling stats from the optimizer onto leaderboards on the website. So this is the page here, which I'll link to you guys. But ultimately, as of right now, everything is kind of pulling through, which is very cool. And
zoom it in a bit.
Yeah, let's zoom in so you can see what's going on. So do you want to talk us through almost how this works in terms of functions?
So in a sort of a TLDR of the technical function, when you have the extractor open, it's constantly sitting in the background listening to what you're doing on your account. If you make a new achievement, a new milestone, a new breakpoint, say like you've beat arena with a higher speed champion you had before, maybe you've beaten a stage for the first time, maybe you've got more damage in a clan boss chest, it logs in behind the scenes a new achievement. And what we are showing on this page is effectively your sort of best results, the highest scores. So you can look here and you can see of all the challenges right now that are taking part in the 10 people that are taking part in our challenge, the HH Gaming crew, Odd One, Earbad, Deadwood, and that you can basically see where we are from what we've recorded in the optimizer. The important thing to note is you have to have the extractor running when you make that achievement. That doesn't mean you always have to play with the extractor open. You could be grinding campaign to get your 6-star, but when you make your 6-star, you want to make sure that you have the extractor open at some point, because once it reads your account data, it's going to go, oh, you've got a 6-star, let me log that as a new achievement. So that's how it is working in the background, essentially.
And it's worth saying as well that we've kind of bracketed it into two things, like achievements, which we say are kind of like ongoing, right? So it's things like how many 60s, how fast are you running Dragon, and at what stage have you got to? And this is almost
dynamic data, basically. It's things that you're going to do and progress over time. Like how high did you climb in the Doom Tower? What's your current highest stage? What's your fastest time? Less about like milestone achievements and more about things that you're going to be doing over time, dynamic in nature.
Yeah, and for people that are trying to find it, see at the top of any Hell Hades page, you should see this follow the free-to-play series here. Click on that and it'll get you to this page.
There's a link on the homepage as well.
Yeah. And so we've got a number of things in here. So all of the dungeons are in here. And obviously, some people have pushed some dungeons and some people have not. Like, and I know that Saf, I was actually talking to Deadwood about this earlier. Obviously, you were building out this page. How much was you building out this page a result in you then pushing all these times for the release?
Not a single. Actually, it slowed me down. I was pushing these dungeons because of the challenges, which is probably what we'll talk about after this in terms of like the whole Pythian disaster and all that kind of stuff. But the spider one is actually quite cool because
this is good. 229 is really good.
That's basically the number one in the entire community. Stop the vote. Stop the count, number one. But no, it's obviously some data. I needed to have the data in to be able to build this page. But yeah, it's cool, right? Because we can sit here now and we can see that obviously I'm at Spider 10. I've got the highest, that was a full auto ice golem run as well.
Leading Fire Knight was stage 12. I've literally not done Fire Knight at all.
I'm probably going to hit
second.
Fire Knight 23 today. 13. A long day.
Ice Golem, you're leading. YST's also done 13. You and YST.
My Ice Golem run there is full auto.
Is it? Nice. Is this just Kale soloing all these things? Kale and Deke, yeah.
Yeah, it's Kale. So now that I've started pushing some dungeons, like in the early game, it felt very much like Deacon was a bit of a crutch because you always having to choose, do I want to have his turn meter control or his decreased defense? He wasn't booked. So I was like, he's okay, but he's not like making a difference. But now that I'm pushing dungeons, the duo is just disgustingly strong because you get poisons, you get AoE decreased defense, you get turn meter control, you get leech, and my other teams, you can log into my account if you want, because you're probably going to be pulling my shards, because I don't want to pull them.
Yeah, let's do that in a minute. Let's just
do that in a
go
bit.
through here.
But yeah, so essentially this is how these achievements work. If you've got the extractor open, it's listening constantly and it's tracking you all the time. When you post something new, like for example, if you have a look in that fastest champion, I think I'm now at second at 194. I was at 186 last night because I upgraded a few pieces. And it's going to refresh pretty much every 15 minutes, the leaderboards.
Nice. So this is us as a kind of group of 10.
Yes.
And we can flick from this kind of dynamic results to the one-off stuff. So it would be like, okay, who got the first rank 6 champion? And that was never, followed by odd one. And again, you have to have the optimizer extractor open to see this stuff or to log it. Because I actually got a quicker time than this, I believe. Or at least, or maybe, I felt like I did it on the same day as never an odd one, honestly. But I'm wondering if 5 days is true, but their 3 days are not true.
No, I think you were a bit later than them, to be honest, because I remember never an odd one really pummeling it. Keep in mind the odd one did shield guard, right? So
yeah, but I'm pretty certain I saw it. I'm certain it was on the same day. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
The day after. It could also be a little bit of a rounding issue, right? It could be that they did it within 71 hours and you did it a little bit higher above, or maybe so. Even though it's technically the same day, the hour conversion rate's a bit weird.
Yeah.
Obviously, the champion column is missing. We are going to be developing this over the next week or two to add more things. We want to add in things like what champion was actually the first rank 6. We want to add things when we have a look at the other tabs, like actually like a view on the website, so you can have a quick glance to see what teams were done to make those achievements as well.
So basically, on this kind of one-off leaderboard, what we're looking at is like who done things quicker, who was the quickest to do something, or who's got the highest hit, who's got the best time. So you can see here campaign clears. There's some stuff we're still going to add. Clan boss.
You did 12-7 really early there, didn't you? 3 days.
Yeah, that's kind of nuts.
I would like to say I pulled Umbral out of my void shards, which I was disappointed with, in the sense that I was like, I could get Pythian, but now that I can't get Pythian, I was pretty happy. Totally, completely one shot the 12-7 with Umbral. It was cheating.
Did you?
It's like a cheat code. Yeah.
Oh, on
first time.
On Brutal, yeah.
Yeah, 12-7 first time.
So look at clan boss then. So best keys. Yes, I've not recorded I've not gone for one. In fact, I did one earlier, which will now rank in, I guess. Pretty sure I hit more than that, but
if you didn't have the extractor open when you actually completed it, like for example, my score 1.151. I forgot to open the extractor this morning.
Yeah.
So,
but Fix is winning on most damage hit for easy. On normal, Deadwood's currently last. Deadwood, do we even know clan boss?
The clan
Deadwood
boss king.
Last. Yeah.
Although I think it's because Deadwood is, I don't know what the hell Deadwood is thinking, but he's like 60 in Elva and mastering different champions. He's totally out in the woods at the moment. He's got some. I feel like he's long conning us somewhere. That's all I feel with Deadwood at the moment.
Yeah.
I feel like he's got something up his sleeve that we don't know about.
Oh, and you've actually hit hard as well, 3.6.
Yeah, that's the key that I just posted about 45 minutes ago.
Okay, cool.
That's my highest score, which is pretty cool.
And then the fastest people to get like basically a 4 key worth of damage against different affinities here, so or different difficulties. Sorry, so yeah, you actually did it a day earlier than the rest of us.
So it's basically this is basically showing how quickly you did enough damage, or like your achievement for your best damage that would result if you had 4 keys that you would get the maximum chest. So it's basically us evaluating sort of how quickly you got to the max chest of each difficulty, which is always quite difficult because the way that it's saying, like some chests and different affinities and different ways. Like we spoke about 3 hours on trying to figure out how we could best display the clan boss and track it and show it properly.
And I guess as well, like early on, like now, we're all around the same amount of time. But when it gets to Brutal and Nightmare, that could be very different amounts of time, couldn't it?
Yeah.
In terms of...
Well, exactly. I mean, I'm probably going to get there quicker than most people because I started with Kale and Deacon, right? Which is all I'm waiting for.
Yours was actually the equivalent of a 4 key then for hard. Damn.
Yeah, I'm 4 key. Nice. I could 4 key hard now, yeah. I mean,
wow.
Deadwood, I know Deadwood, for example, he's got Ugo, Venomage, Elva. So, like, he's an ally protector away. He's so close.
So he's set for Brutal already, for sure. let alone pushing up a bit more maybe. And then in dungeons, so this is basically, we're recording here stage 10, 14, 17, 20, and 25 as the areas for achievements. So
yeah,
at the moment, it's probably just stage 10, I guess. Maybe it's
there
a bit
wasn't
more,
many
but
on the higher ones. I think Iron Twins have gone like 10, 11, and 7. Sand Devil, I've done the best stages, which is like 7, 24, and 25, but they're quite long way away. But I think it's like 10, 14, 17, 20, and 25. But most people seem to be sitting on like 10 or around about that. Not many people have really pushed that high, which is to be expected, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So so that's all of the kind of competitors set, but we can also then go into exactly the same things for community. And this is quite cool. So for the community, we've done top 50 at the moment. And I saw a few people asking, how do you see where you are? We are going to be adding, I'm not sure exactly how long it's going to take us, because there's a little bit of jiggery pokery to do, but we will be adding either at the top or the bottom, possibly at the top.
We'll probably
so
add it at the top because it'll be easier. It'll basically have like your rank, and then how long it took you to do that.
Yeah.
Or if you haven't completed it, you'd be, showing a 0, not completed.
Yeah. But you can see some people are absolutely killing it in terms of some of these times. I mean, first 6-star, we already spoke about that on my last stream, but has anyone done Nightmare? No. Less than 1 day for V for first brutal clear. Clan boss, let's have a look at B in 2 days has got enough damage to do a 4 key on hard. Just so insane, isn't it? Dungeons, was there any going up pretty high on dungeons? Maybe not, actually. Maybe we're still
a lot of the community is around the same stage.
Yeah. But so this is going to be, obviously, that's why this is an ongoing competition, because anyone could go in, or anyone could start an account like today and still be relevant for trying to compete on these leaderboards, because it's based on the least number of days to get the achievement.
So Cop J's asking that question in chat now. Is it based on the start of the challenge or age of account? It's based on when your account was created. So we actually read from your account data, your like birth date of your account. And then that's what we frame it against, right? So when we're saying it took you less than 1 day, it's the day that you achieved it versus the day that your account was born. So anyone could basically beat V's score here. If someone wants to come along and try and beat the Spider 10 with less than 1 day, you could spin up a new account 6 months into the challenge and come along. If we don't know how long this challenge is going to last. If someone wants to try and beat the highest easy, they can constantly keep hitting easy until they hit a highest score.
And I guess the cool thing as well, so what I said at the beginning here, the foundation of what's been done in this bit of work should enable us throughout the year to just decide, you know what, we might do a week-long challenge in one area of content in the game, and you sign up to it as a completely separate challenge once we've built it out in the website. So, we've got challenges here at the moment that's just a free-to-play challenge, but there's no reason why we couldn't do a Dragon 10 speed run with rares as an example, or whatever we wanted to do. We could literally just kind of knock up a challenge with specific rules and just say, you know what, this is going to be the next one that we launch. And again, we track it in a similar way to what we're tracking this stuff. So yeah, I think it's actually a major kind of milestone in what we're doing with the optimizer, because it moves us from just helping you organize gear really to trying to help you enjoy the game. I think that's fair.
It's what I was talking about last night on YouTube when I was streaming last night late, doing free to play, saying I would sleep an hour ago and I wasn't. This year, the vision that we've got for the optimizer is to adapt it more from just a tool that you use one time to make a new champion to being a companion that kind of sits alongside you and recommends improvements or highlights different areas that you can optimize, give you better in-depth stats, give you better battle results, give you more fun stuff, give you challenges, give you achievements, so that we can try and break the mold of grind into the grind is rewarded with a bit of fun. Like, we obviously can't make decisions about how the game is developed. That's not within our purview, but we can certainly help and build the community and build the platform around the community where everyone can take part and have a bit of fun. And that's kind of like what the whole point of playing a game is, right? You all want to have a bit of fun. So that's kind of our vision this year for the optimizer. And this is, as you said, a major kind of milestone, the first step towards that for us.
What I would say, Saf, so this first time, this is just launched, I thought these would be way slower. I thought it would be quite slow to load. I thought with the amount of information we're churning in the background here, the speed that this is coming through is actually insane. Like, you guys have done a brilliant job in terms of.
So it's a team effort really between myself and DeTeach. If anyone doesn't know, DeTeach is the original brainchild behind the optimizer. The man is just, I don't know, he's on a whole nother level to me. So he's obviously some of the issues we had last week in terms of performance issues in the optimizer that we were kind of being a bit coy about. A lot of it was us building behind the scenes and DeTeach building out all the different background elements that would make this possible. So sometimes we have to have a bit of, stress and negativity and a bit of rough time to enable all this. But now that it's loaded, it's super fast, it's super quick. So yeah, it's a collaboration between me making it look pretty, but a lot of the work also from DeTeach in terms of making it possible for us to even read and collect this data and produce it and show you, and basically shout out the people that have done really well. I've seen a couple of people here on the list that, like, V has pushed really hard.
Yeah, V's actually Billups in stream right now. Billups, I know you were.
There you go.
I showed Billups' account off the other day, and it's insane. But I mean, that was just really, he got to a 6-star very quick. But actually, he's not just done that. He's been all over the game.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Wix in one of them. I don't know if you can see if he's in Wix Tellurians. He's in the challenger tier. He's in the community tier. He's basically only playing his free to play using Tellurian champions.
Yes.
And he's on the leaderboard in places. I can't remember in which one he was on. I saw him the other day, and I've been DMing Wix a fair bit. We've been talking about different things. Gold, the arena. Look at his arena position. He's gold 3, and he's already planning on getting gold 5. Damn. He said, like, in a couple of days. So it's really good that we have an opportunity to basically shout out our community for doing, joining and having a bit of fun and doing such a great job.
It's worth shouting out as well. A couple of people here. Yes, Ferdis. Not sure if I said that wrong. I said it very wrong. But said here, if you make challenges, try to be more creative than Plarium. Well, the cool thing is, like, we've got a whole community of people that can come at us with ideas. So it's not just at the point of me and Saf or Fix and the team being creative. Actually, we can just kind of like field out, what do you want? What sort of things do you want to do? And someone else said, can we have tournaments which were not just free to play? Yeah, of course. Yeah, this is just the first one that we've done, but absolutely we could do, who can just create the fastest finite team, and maybe it'll be just using epics, but any Kraken can get involved, sort of thing. I think there's no real end to what we're able to do with it, I think, once we get going.
I mean, we could even be as crazy and go something like, you must use, like, you need to build a team for Fire Knight using one of these 6 champions and at least one from this faction. We can be as super creative as that, so that we can actually make it, less than the biggest problem we have in Raid in terms of the tournament model is it's very much, once you've got the right champion, it becomes a little bit like you can brute force any tournament. So the challenge is trying to create a tournament structure that you can't just brute force and abuse with stats or gear or champions. But we can do creative things that force you into different patterns. Or a model that I'm quite fond of that I was thinking about is basically having a negative sum scoring. So you start with like 100 points, and the more OP champions cost you a lot more.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah,
and then you work your way backwards. So that the people who use less OP champions but will get more rewards. The people who use more OP can still use your OP champions, but you might have to burst or do a bit more effort. But there's different ways we can model it that you get penalties for using the right champions instead of just having straight bans and a bunch of different things. So
yeah, and we could also do a bit like what Deadwood did with the draft system. Like, we could do stuff where we set it up and say, right, we're going to veto 10 champions from this comp, and then away we go with it. So there's certain ones that we just know are super strong that we don't want people to use.
Well, I know Deadwood's got loads of different ideas in his mind that he wants to do. So, there's potential that we can help support him, and he can help support us in terms of other tournaments we can run using the same tools. And that's the good thing here is we're growing the community and utilizing the optimizer to be more than just a tool that gives you better gear and better builds. It actually makes you enjoy the game more. It's a companion to your game.
So if anyone wants to come and check this out, it is now live. It's live on the website. You can go either on the homepage to the free-to-play section. You can come down. You can browse both the challenger or the community trackers. And we've got it basically at the moment in 2 tabs, leaderboards or I guess the dynamic stuff or the kind of first clears. There will also be a league table to go alongside this. So, whoever's got, for example, whoever's coming first place at that moment in time will get the highest point score. And there'll be a league table both for the community and for the challengers. So that's probably, maybe, is that likely to become a next week, Saf, do you think?
Yeah, I think we just need
longer.
to figure out the point scoring model and also make sure that we've added all these additional objectives such as Doom Tower. I mean, we could also as well over the next, 3 to 6 months, depending on how long this goes, we might have the community go, a key objective we think you should have is this. So we might add more different objectives and expand the trackers. I think one thing I haven't put on here is actually trackers for the highest stage and fastest times for Sand Devil and the Iron Twins. I think I've put them in the completion leaderboard, but I don't think I've put them in the actual, where are you currently scaling? So we'll add to this as we go along. So I think the point scoring model won't be too far away. I think, me and you just kind of need to figure out how will we score it, because what you don't want to have is we want to make sure that it's competitive enough that it isn't just like a free win. So it's
Yeah.
It's a dark arts doing point scoring systems at least in my experience. 19.
Yeah. I've just seen this guy here, Christian, has just said I've just beaten 20, so that's going to update before too long.
Yeah.
But
every 15
the funny
minutes
thing with this,
update.
right? The funny thing with this type of leaderboard is, for me anyway, it focuses the mind. Yeah, like all I want to do on my free to play is grind out some more food, get another 60, and start progressing in the game. But I see leaderboards going up, and I'm a competitive person, and I'm like, I want to be in the mix, I want to do it, and yeah, it's tough to not completely distract yourself from just actually getting your account into a good spot because you're just like, I want to push something further.
So
yeah,
go to the community tracker and have a look at the spider tracker at the moment. So the whole community. Oh, there I am. Top score. Not that one. The actual.
The other one. Sorry. Yeah.
The actual fastest time. There I am.
Got
it's
it.
Probably a stream delay. So we'll talk about my what is like. People are going to be surprised to see what actually achieved that time. It's silly.
Yeah. So eventually, there's going to be something here where you can actually see the team that was run, isn't there? Is that what we're aiming for?
Yeah, we're going to put a button there where you click view team, and it's actually going to show. It won't show you the full details, but it will show you like the 5 pictures of the champions that was used. Basically, we're not. It's a bit too much effort to give you the full breakdown, but we will probably long term, if we continue this model like we plan to, have an ability to kind of like link into the optimizer to find that specific team in specific data, so you can see the actual, but in more detail.
Yeah, nice. No, cool. So yeah, hopefully you guys will make use of that and enjoy it really. But I guess, Saf, whilst you're on, we should have a little chat about free-to-play life. I see Rat says, how many days are we in? I think we're 7 days now, are we?
It's a week, yeah.
A week in, yeah. A week into it. So the grind has been real. And we were talking about this a little bit earlier, but I did mention it a little bit on stream as well. Normally I play a free-to-play with this kind of efficiency of, I'm showing you that fusions are possible. I'm showing you that with patience, you can really do whatever you want to do. Any events are possible as long as you kind of resource manage well. I really want to change it this time around. I really want to go a bit more YOLO-ish. And, if I get a sacred shard and I feel like pulling a sacred shard, I'm just going to pull it.
So here's my position on it. I entered this very, very publicly saying I will not pull a single shard outside of a ×2. That was my position in my head, because I was thinking I need champions. The best place to get champions is ×2. ×10, unless it's a void, and really, if I'm being honest, you need substantial amounts of voids, which you're not going to get this early on in the free-to-play, or even in the first 6 months probably. Yeah. You're pulling for ×2 opportunities because that is the best opportunity to get the best champions in the game. But now that I've started seeing this last Pythian fusion and the fact that guaranteed champions seem to have gone up 20%, and all the points totals are going up 20%.
Although, just to caveat that, to say we've seen fluctuations up with fusions, and then the very next one they come back down. not. I think sometimes there's no rhyme or reason other than they're just rocking the boat or testing the model. I would not be surprised if the next fusion, all of the numbers are back down to where we've seen them before.
Yeah,
So
I
just
get that.
a little caveat, but yeah,
It's less about that. It's also about the fact that so what I've been seeing is we've been creeping the requirements up for the good rewards, substituting some of the other good rewards for the pointless rewards like anniversary tokens and you know player and points and all these kind of things. But what is actually happening is they're making it so that you need more resources to complete these objectives. Now, the problem we have that I see for our free to play is your original statement is right. As long as you play effectively and efficiently, then you can for sure get every fusion. The problem is that's assuming we can get to Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss. Because the biggest problem that I've got, especially in this fusion, putting the novice tournament aside, which is a complete major problem, is a lack of shards. Now, I've got a lot of sacred shards from the starter one-off rewards that you get, but those are limited. Then where's my next sacred shard coming from? If it isn't from the clan boss, it's top of Doom Tower hard, which is not going to happen.
Yeah,
for a
it's
while.
basically the monthly, isn't it?
It's the monthly.
That's your only guaranteed, I think.
So you're basically asking
one here and there.
You're asking a free-to-play account to be able to require each month, probably I would say a minimum of 5 sacreds for the Summon Rush if you want to go for any fusion. And in my head, I'm sitting there thinking, well, unless I've got an Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss team, there's literally probably no way that I could actually get a fusion. I might be able to save up across 2 months or 3 months, but that's where it is. So really,
but
I was going to save
for
shards
you as well. So a fusion in let's say we could get the next fusion in a month's time.
Yeah.
What's the better account growth right now? Bearing in mind we're a week in. What's the better account growth? Saving and guaranteeing. Let's say we guarantee that fusion next time round, or pulling shards today and getting more variety of champions that we might be able to use to progress right now. What would you say is
a double-edged sword? I could basically, my decision is I'm probably going to pull the shards. So it's a double-edged sword. On one side, you could basically pull nothing, and then you go, damn, I've wasted all my shards, and now I'm in the same position as I was before, right? We know from experience, in order for us to get to Ultra Nightmare, either we need to pull an unkillable champion, or we need an ally protector. That's kind of like your 2 entry requirements to an Ultra Nightmare team. You need one of those 2.
Yeah, or you need a 2-for-1 team, I would say, which is
but even that
it's
needs
still
an ally
hard
protector.
without the ally protector.
It's such a powerful effect. Like you just can't survive beyond like turn 20 without an ally protector in most, unless you are, abusing it with Stalwart, Defiant, and high gear, which again we don't have that, right? So
yeah, and Oxane here is saying, by the way, don't forget we got a 2 times on Sacreds next week.
Yeah, but
are you going to be so insane to pull today?
I don't think it makes a difference because that's 2 weeks away, or next week, is it? So
1 week away.
It's
a fair shout, isn't it? It's a fair shout.
It is a fair shout. I could wait, but pretty much like it depends. So this is the double-edged sword. I could wait and then go on the ×2 and then pull, I don't know, not a Jing Wong, like an old style Teela. You know what I mean? Like a champion that doesn't give me anything. I could pull a Ruark, for example. A Ruark is a decent champion, but for me, in my level of progression in a free-to-play account, it's useless. Whereas I could pull one today and I get an ally protector, or I can get one of the ×10 champions. Now, ×10 is a bit of a joke, but it's pretty good.
Maybe not for epics though. Like if there were actually decent epics on the ×10,
there is a decent epic on the ×10.
Yeah, then that's actually a reasonable shot. You've got a decent chance of getting one of
if
those.
If we're talking clan boss priority, there isn't many better epics in early game clan boss than Sepulchre Sentinel.
Yeah, sure, yeah. I was wondering who you were going to say, but yeah, for sure.
AoE block debuffs, increased defense, decreased attack, and you also have that passive, which is a bit hit and miss. But for an early game team, it's a huge addition because right now I'm relying on a Runic Warder, which has got a 3-turn A2, 50% decreased attack. That's my only decreased attack option. So,
well, that's one more than I've got.
Yeah, it's true. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So this is the double-edged sword for our situation. Do we hold the shards and then potentially like I could pull an ally protector, and that gives me nightmare this week, which means I could be getting those rewards this week. That's legendary books, that's shards, that's access to the rewards and resources we need to be able to compete for the fusion. Or we could wait out for that fusion. That fusion actually is like, I don't know, an arena nuker. You know, if it's someone like
Yeah, this is
Marinix.
it. That's the other point, isn't it? Like, obviously, Helicath was game changing for me last year because he was a clan boss focused champion who basically opened clan boss up, whereas most fusions aren't necessarily clan boss focused. Even Pythian, right? He would help you in clan boss, but he's not clan boss focused.
Yeah, he's not. He wouldn't make any like of the top 10 clan boss teams because he doesn't bring enough utility. He doesn't bring increased speed.
Also, if I just threw him into my team right now, or with a couple of changes, I still don't think he gets me onto Ultra Nightmare. I don't think he alone is enough.
Not alone, but he's a big part of that protection.
It would be
team.
strong.
Yeah,
I think I'd rather have.
Like the thing about Helicath was he was instant Ultra Nightmare. As long as you had enough support champions or some turn meter control or something in your team, it was pretty much like you pull Helicath. Congrats, you're now an Ultra Nightmare. You should be able to get there because you had so many different teams, and Deadwood I think did about 10 different teams with him of various success. So obviously some teams are 1 key, some teams are 2 keys, some keys are 3 keys, right? Yeah. But even if you can 4 key Ultra Nightmare, like I always say to people whenever they ask me about clan boss, even if you only have to 4 key Ultra Nightmare, it's still better than the Nightmare because you get access to that 5th reward, and it makes a huge difference.
And I think there's something as well to be said for, in this kind of conversation, like most people that play this game with that YOLO mentality, don't they? Like, I've got a shard, I'm pulling it straight away. I want to see what I get.
I mean, it pays off, right? Because we keep seeing in our little private Discord,
everyone with legendaries.
Lockers pulls a champion every now and then. He goes, "Oh yeah, I pulled a void and I got a warlord." I'm like, "Thanks."
Yeah, Fix in the chat here. Lockers, I don't know if he's around, but those two particularly, I feel like
are terrible
YOLO
for it.
Shard pullers, right?
What did Fiction YOLO shard pull earlier? Royal Guard, was it?
Royal Guard, yeah.
Domination shard.
Casually throws out a Royal Guard out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So anyway, I mean, I've got at the moment 10 Ancients, 1 Sacred, 1 Void, and you saw there I'm working on just 3-starring the rest of campaign. I'll be able to do.
Have you done your sacred challenges, by the way?
Have I done which? Sorry.
Have you done your sacred challenges?
Not yet. No.
There's one. You might have missed it now. It's the dungeons one. Yeah. See, you kind of made a bit of a. This is what I was doing late last night. Part 5 of 5 of this. There's a sacred shard, and it's achievable. Like all I have to do to get another sacred shard is complete Fire Knight 13, which with Rhonda was achievable.
So that's why you were pushing up so high. I got it right.
Yeah, that's why you can see me on all the potion keep leaderboards, is because there were challenges like do stage 13 spirit on auto, and because all the keeps were still open, I was like, I need to like completely crush it. It was something that Wix said as well. Like Wix has basically nearly got himself past milestone 2. Because he's nearly at the Fuse Justicia, because he was like, I just want to get rid of all those missions that require you to have keeps, because they work in reverse order. The keeps come up in the kind of like magic something, and the keeps open in the opposite order. So you end up waiting 2 to 3 days between each mission, and it's just stalling your success rate. So I'm up to like 35.
I'll tell you what though, I've tried to, once I got those gems, I've tried to blinker all of the other distractions. And I really want a second 6-star champ. So,
I mean, you got Kale, right? So you've got at least a champion that's worthy of it.
Yeah, exactly. I've basically got like 5-star chicken here, ready to be a 5-star chicken. Shinuru, I'm on the fence about. And I actually, when we picked up Rhonda and I opened Doom Tower, my thinking changed a bit. And then suddenly I leveled Rhonda. I leveled, or I starred up and then leveled Shinuru. Basically, a whole bunch of my energy and focus went into team rather than where I was, which was like solely, I'm getting another 6-star. And it slowed me down a ton, actually. It slowed me down a ton. But then you could argue I've also picked up rewards for actually being able to beat some of this stuff already. So it's
the key thing is a lot of challenges has energy in it. So sometimes it can feel like you're burning or wasting energy. But if you can do it at the same time as something else, so like if you go into the challenges and go into the you burnt gems unlocking your market, you crazy man.
You know why? Guess what was
I saw the ancient, and I was on stream and I had an ancient on slot 2.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, "Oh, you should buy the gems." I was like, "I'm not spending gems to get one ancient shard. It's just not worth it for me."
Did you not?
I left it go because it'll come back into the
But you know,
shop.
it was when we had a 2 times on ancients, and I was
Oh, fair
like,
enough. Yeah, fair
but
enough.
all it got me was
More crap.
I've not pulled an epic yet,
Yeah.
so it didn't work out.
If you head over to the challenges section on the artifact challenges, I don't know how far you are in that.
Reasonably far.
You're reasonably fit. You're on the same stage as me, pretty much. Some of them are pretty awful, like those.
Yeah, it's got to the
I've
point now where
destroyed
the
about 6
rewards are
champions
silver.
doing those
that's
3
fine.
ones there. I haven't done them yet. I did the ones before, and it was like find 4-star gear, level it to level 12, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
horrific. But you've done most of them. That's where the energy kind of sits. I've managed to do
So I grabbed the energy. So I was grabbing the energy from there to originally do my Elhain 6-star actually.
You should read the description for the put accessories on your champion. It's hilarious. It's really when it's out of date.
This one.
Yeah.
Fully equip a champion with accessories.
Yeah, the description when you click view. It's just so out of date.
Accessories don't have sets or bonuses.
Transform a champion into a legend. I'm like,
wow.
no.
That was written 4 years ago.
Yeah. Like they need to upgrade these techs.
Yeah. Well, Lady H came and spoke to me the other day. She goes, "Is this right?" And she was basically trying to upgrade a piece of gear. Oh, she was absolutely fuming that all of her silver had gone and the piece was still not upgraded.
We've all been there.
Incensed.
I think I saw the screenshot and it was something like, "Now what do I do?" or something. And I was like, "You've now reached the correct stage of Weight Shadow Legends. Congratulations. This is what we feel on a daily basis."
I guess let's have a look here. There are...
I mean, the thing about the times 10 is if you pull a legendary, look at them. They are so good.
Yeah. But how do you feel about it? Like, I'm a little bit torn with legendaries here. I kind of enjoy the free-to-play experience of obviously using what you get. So using what you get is kind of the whole point of what we try and do with these. But I would rather get fun epics and try and show people how possible they are to work with than just like the OP legendaries, and it's almost like you're running a main account again.
I've got good gear, but I can't.
You've got bloody good gear.
I've got good gear, but that's all I've got.
Someone's saying here, can you show your champs? Yeah. Basically, I'd say what I've got of value so far. Elhain obviously is leveled. Kale and Ronda. Kale was a pull. Shinoru is very much the bait of the account so far. And then really Damasa, obviously the referral, actually a decent champ. Boomscreech is an interesting one who I probably will persevere with, at least for now. Actually doing some work for me in dungeons and stuff. Actually,
I mean, there are some teams that are an increased defense and increased boost, right? He's one of those champions that you might not use a lot of, but he might be pretty clutch in some places.
Yeah, but just giving you increased defense, where I don't one-shot waves at the moment,
it's huge.
It enables me to take a hit.
It's a 3-turn cooldown when you get it booked up as well, and it's only rare books, so it's actually quite a low investment.
Yeah, so I think he's going to stay around for a while, and Soul Bond I think is going to help me a lot with Spider as we're going through. But the one thing one of the things I don't have really is an answer for Spider when we get a bit higher up.
Well, you do. You have the Kale.
No, I mean higher up, like 15 plus.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, neither do I, right? I suppose if I pull a single target burner, I probably do because I've picked up that Harken. Yeah. And when I picked up Harken, everyone's like, I was like, "Oh, this is terrible. There's nothing I can. I've nothing I can do with that Harken. It's not a great thing." And everyone's like, "Well, hang on. If you just got a burner, then you're good to go."
So I think I'm going to pull my Sacred, and then I'll log into your account and pull yours as well, yeah? Stuff it. I'm going for it. We're going YOLO. So I'm going to have 2 more Sacreds by the time ×2 weekend comes around next week, because I would have done the other set of campaign, and I would have done those challenges we've just spoken about. So this is the way we're doing it this year. 2023 is the year of the YOLO.
You've got to change it up every now and then, haven't you?
You have to, yeah. You have to have some fun with it. So I guess I tell you what I'm going to do first. Ancients. 10 Ancients, then my Void, then my Sacred.
You should do a poll.
What will the poll be?
Is it going to be another free-to-play series where I don't get any champion, I'm left with Armina, or are we going to hit gold?
But yeah, I feel like I've played the game in a very sensible way for a couple of years, and almost like, why not? But also, if you're going to do stuff like this, I feel like the start of an account is the better time to do it. Like once we've got 5 or 6 6-stars on the account and you're starting to progress through clan boss and you're able to save and effectively do fusions and stuff like that, then it's less impactful to pull a load of shards, I think. It's like right now, this could be massively impactful for my account. Let's do it. First 10 on the Ancients. Let's go. YOLO! Free to play YOLO.
I can see the episode title now. YOLO free to play 2023. What have you got? There's a delay on the stream, so I have no idea what you've got until afterwards. I don't think I want to, looking at that. I'm not sure I want you to pull my shards right now.
What's happened to my account? Why is this happening? They're all blue. Oh my God. Is there anything here that can help me?
We're so cursed. This is not going well. So
this isn't even really a group of things
Beast
that can help me,
Wrestler is interesting. That's a useless champion there. Beast Wrestler's interesting because he hits really hard. So he might get you through some tricky stages. But
wow,
you're not doing much with that.
Let's do these other two as well.
The man-eater's behind the void shard. You know this.
It wants to be.
Oh no.
A Slayer.
On the bright side, you're getting food for that 6-star you want. Oh.
Why am I only getting rares? Nobody else is only getting rares. Wow. What is this? What is this?
Void shard incoming.
Man-eater. Please be purple. Bubba! Oh, that's actually decent.
It's not the
I'll
worst.
take the skin fast.
It's not the worst.
I'll take that.
He's got that weird passive, isn't he? Where he like eats all the debuffs or something.
Champion is under 4 or more debuffs at the start of a turn. Places buffs on him.
Yeah, doesn't he eat the debuffs like from people, or like he transfers it to himself?
Transfers all debuffs from him to a target.
And his A2 like takes it from your allies, right? Or something. I'm sure he does like some sort of like takes the debuff and then sends it back.
After attacking, transfers all debuffs from allies to him. Yeah, it does. Yeah, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, so the idea is that he's a bit like the Sacred Order epic where she like fully cleanses something. He like eats all the debuffs and then with his A3 sends it back. It's actually quite cool.
I tell you what, I didn't have experience of him doing that. I've had experience of using him for his turn meter control, decreased speed, and turn meter steal.
It's huge.
He's actually
100%.
Pretty good for Spider.
Yeah.
He's like insanely good for Spider and for Fire Knight.
Yeah.
And he's got an AoE decrease attack, which I don't have, which is going to help me with Ice Golem as well.
And if you're in Spider and that passive, he's going to get those buffs, right?
Yeah, he'll get the buffs, and I guess he kicks all of the debuffs back to Spider from my team. This is actually
what does
a
his
massive
passive do again? I keep forgetting. So he heals.
He heals for.
So that's huge for Spider.
Yeah,
he's going to be able to tank it. Then he's also going to give himself buffs. Okay, increase crit damage, nothing but increase attack.
Yeah.
I mean,
this is
turn meter control is
actually.
always massive in the early game. That's what I found. Like if you can control the enemy with turn meter, like things like the spirit. I was really struggling with the spirit keep, like the healing, and just having Armiga do a little bit of turn meter control meant that we could burst it down. So
this
I take that.
Is easily my best champion. Well, no, my best pull for dungeons anyway. Like it's not going to be anything for clan boss for me, which honestly, I guess it's a decrease.
Well,
attack,
you can be an immunity cleanser. It's a 3-turn cooldown, so you could cleanse the stun.
Let's see in this. So after attacking,
he's actually quite big for clan boss.
Except stun.
Oh, it's except. Oh.
Yeah, so it's basically meant as like a poison soak.
Oh, that's a shame. But I mean, at least you've got a decreased attack champion on 3-turn cooldown now, right? So
yeah. He's. I mean, if I 6-star him, he will come into clan boss for that decreased attack for now at least.
Loves a read.
He does love a book, and I tell you who's currently got all my books. Bloody Shinuru. Why did I do it?
What are you thinking?
Do you know why I did it?
Many
reasons. I was not thinking at all, Saf. Right. I sended her to unlock her A3 because I was thinking this A3 is my answer to Spider. I was like, hold on a second. If she nukes the Spiderlings, she gets it back straight away again. So she always A3s. A3 all day long.
The problem is her AI
nukes spiders for fun. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
But if I thought about it for more than 1 second, I would have realized I didn't need the reduced cooldown because she would get that anyway. And she's only going to be able to do this well if she's 6-star and with good gear. And also, the one level that I want to farm right now, stage 10, she's the wrong affinity for. So many mistakes wrapped into one champion here. Ah, it's frustrating. And you know what? I've put in 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. She's had 10 of my books. What I wouldn't give for Eternal Evolution, return all your resources right now. Oh, such a stupid mistake. Such a stupid one.
But she's like, I don't know. Like, I do think she can campaign farm long term. I think if you build her up enough stats, then her AI kind of fixes herself. But she's probably like in a month or two, your campaign farm, if that makes sense. If you can get her to A3 all the time in campaign because of her affinity and everything, she can clear it really quickly. She just, for some reason, they've coded her that sometimes she likes to use the A2 even though she can use the A3.
YOLO! Let's do
Come
it.
on.
It's an epic. Oh, mate.
YST is very happy somewhere.
I don't know what I think about it.
Well, she's actually quite good, though, because she's a sleep champion, AoE sleep. So in terms of, like, in the early game, what do we always want? We want control, we want speed, we want...
Yeah, it's true.
Like, she's actually, like... Speak to YST about it. He uses her a lot.
Oh, well, I know. I've had YST on. He basically... He soloed the whole of Doom Tower with this. YST's like... I mean, YST would not want to see this champion again. He's literally played solely with one champion for about the last year.
It's actually really toxic in the arena as well. People don't realize how strong it is because you use that A2, like a Kymar A2. Obviously, it doesn't cleanse, but you use the A2, and then because of her passive and that passive effect, it's really frustrating to fight against her. So I think she's not a terrible epic to pull. Okay, it's not going to help you towards getting clan boss, which is depressing.
The goal, yeah, but sure.
But at least it's not like, I don't know, Rhine Beast. Like, it could have been
worse. It definitely could have been worse. She is usable. She's actually got a better speed aura than anyone I've got right now.
Yeah, I think she goes in your arena team instantly, right?
I think she probably does, yeah.
Especially until Hike-Tune.
But does she... So at the moment, she would be replacing Spirit Host.
What are you running in your arena team?
Well, or she... I don't know what I would done it. What I would run it, actually. But this is what I run at the moment. Increase attack, turn meter boost, double nuke.
You'd replace one of your nukers because you don't need a double nuke once Elhane's properly built out.
Yeah, maybe.
You don't have a decreased defense, so that's the
might be a way away.
downside.
I didn't get the crit damage gloves with the double crit roll.
Single, not double. I don't know. There's only 2 triple rolls I've got on my account. Okay, let's not embellish the situation.
I actually feel like she might go here instead.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, Doom Screech is kind of good if you had a defense-based damage dealer. You don't, so you do that probably, and then long term you'd probably want to swap out like Kale for a War Maiden, right?
Yeah, someone for drop defense. Yeah, honestly, that's what I was hoping to see today was a drop defense epic. That would have been the dream. But
yeah.
Anyway, that wasn't too bad. I got 2 champions that are both usable, and
could have been worse, right?
Yeah, it definitely could have been worse. Could have been better. Let's be honest. It could have been better, but it definitely could have been worse.